How is information sent from one neuron to the other? So before I start with this part, let's consider the definition of the synapse. The synapse is the junction between two neurons. Basically, when two neurons are sending information between each other, we call the first one the presynaptic neuron, the first neuron. The second one is called the postsynaptic neuron, the one that receives the information. So this is your presynaptic neuron, this is your postsynaptic neuron. The junction in between is called a synapse, the only place in the nervous system where the messages are not an electrical impulse, they are chemical. This is why drugs can affect the place of the synapse or the synaptic cleft, where information is diffused between the two neurons, and this is also the place where heroin works, alright? But again, that is not important to our topic here. So the main point of discussion is how information is transferred. Basically, now that we know that it's not electrical, it is chemical, let's understand how it happens. To transfer information from one neuron to another, you need neurotransmitters, alright? Basically, the process works as it follows. Presynaptic neuron, postsynaptic neuron. Electrical impulse is coming to the presynaptic neuron, and then you have vesicles inside the presynaptic neuron that contain neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters will diffuse from the presynaptic neuron through the synaptic cleft into receptors and bind with the receptors of the postsynaptic neuron, alright, to transmit the information chemically. Okay, again, you have a presynaptic neuron, it contains vesicles, those vesicles contain neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters will diffuse from the presynaptic neuron into the presynaptic membrane. They will diffuse from the presynaptic membrane into the synaptic cleft, moving down the concentration gradient according to the definition of diffusion, movement of particles, net movement of particles from a high concentration to a low concentration, moving down the concentration gradient. So these neurotransmitters will diffuse into the synaptic cleft, into the postsynaptic membrane, attaching to the receptors or binding with the receptors in the postsynaptic neuron to transmit the information from the first neuron to the next. After the neurotransmitters have been binded, they will be destroyed and the process will continue to the next upcoming neurons.